1,400 acres with a power plant on the side of it. So something completely out of my comfort zone, and we're going to be fishing in a completely different way to what I've ever done before. I've got such a buzz and adrenaline rush. I've never fished a place this big. When was the last time my hand was doing that when I was fishing?
Congrats.
Thank you very much. Oh, should we get some snaps and stick it back?
Yep.
You need to have one. I'm not just saying that, like you're like Luke, your head's gone.
What?
Now, I know I said at the end of the Sweden trip just a couple of months ago that the next time there's a nice gig abroad, that it's going to fall to either Luke or Ian. Well, in case the thumbnail and the title hasn't given it away, and the fact that I've started this video, it's pretty clear that I ended up with this gig as well. So Ian's just had a baby, so congratulations to him. So of course he couldn't be away from home, and Luke's just got back off from about 4 weeks on holiday, so he also couldn't really make this one. So I'm out here in Poland. Now, today started yesterday, really. At 11 PM, I left my house to be at Stansted for 3 AM. So it was a long old drive to get there. I haven't slept since Sunday night, and it's now midway through Tuesday, or it's actually getting, yeah, mid-afternoon Tuesday. So I'm pretty tired, but Przemec, who I've just met up with, who is a deeper consultant, has brought me over here to the lake we're fishing. Oh, I haven't actually shown you. Look at the size of that. 1,400 acres with a power plant on the side of it. So something completely out of my comfort zone, and we're going to be fishing in a completely different way to what I've ever done before, which is fishing at stupid range with bait boats and sonars and stuff. So of course we're going to be going through all the tactics, but for now we need to shoot back to get some kit. But when we got here, he took me to where he works, which is Rock World, which is the tackle shop here just outside of Rybnik. So I landed in Katowice, and he works in Rybnik. This is Lake Rybnik, or 𝘃𝗶𝗱𝗲. I can't remember the name of it. I'm not going to keep practicing my Polish, because it's probably just going to embarrass myself, and for any Polish viewers, they'll also be laughing at me as well. But anyway, went to see where he works. It's all that tackle shop. We now need to go get the tackle and some supplies, come back here and get fishing. So it's probably going to be a pretty quick sort of get the rods out when we get back later, because the light's going to fade, and get cracking. We've got a couple of nights ahead of us here. Weather's not looking too great tomorrow, but it should be good fun. Looking forward to this one. So we're back at Przemec's place. Was that a good pronunciation?
Perfect.
So thank you very much, firstly, for having me over here.
Yeah,
it's but this is your local we're going back to, really, isn't it?
Yep. So instead of holding a big one right now at the moment, we're still packing. So I didn't have a chance to do it before your arrival. So sorry again about that.
That's right. This is how every good session should start, with a bit of prep.
Yep, sure.
I mean, Luke would say that I should have expected this to all be done before I got here, because he seems to think that I...
So we're going to dig for some carps?
A bit worried that you got a shovel. There's some duct tape in the back of here. Right? A boot liner.
Don't worry, Joe.
This could be my last shoot for CARPology. We'll see.
First time in Poland, right? First and the last.
We are back with supplies.
Sausage, anyone?
You're really not painting yourself in a very good light. You've got a shovel, duct tape, you're eating sausage.
Typical Polish carp angler.
So what's the plan of attack?
Well, I'm standing here and thinking, so I need to grab a sausage to think better. Whether we are not capable of taking this whole pile of, let's call it tackle, on one take, on one attempt. Because I think that it's worth recording, because I don't know how it's gonna end up. Maybe on the ground, probably, but still, let's try.
Right, I'll let you finish your sausage.
Yeah, thank you. You want,
we'll get
around
one? I will have one.
Whoa. Bye.
Well, I don't know about you, I'm absolutely knackered pushing all that around.
Yeah, thank you for your help.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. I didn't do anything. I brought the camera kit around and filmed probably 2 clips of you pushing it.
This is what's most important.
I did have to fly the drone as well, and that was strenuous work. But anyway, we've moved around to where we were planning on fishing.
Yep.
There's a couple of people there.
Well, you need to take care of them, so.
No, well, if you want me to take care of it, in a British sense, we're on a, what, 1,400 acres lake, and you're saying we're rocking up between them. That just feels cringe-worthy bad to me.
I wish to see how you're going to take care of it, so.
Oh, every British bone in my body is saying, why? There's this much water
Just
and you
be
want to
polite,
be here.
as English people are, so.
But you were saying you actually, there's a community of carp anglers on it, and you've kind of got your set pegs that everyone gives each other grace to fish.
Yeah, basically, yeah, but you can come whatever you want, sit whatever you want, so it's not like this spot is taken by me and no one can fish here, right, besides me. So, but we're gonna be fishing here anyways. We're gonna talk to our colleagues and we're gonna find a solution. But yeah, I'm happy that we're here. I just hope so much that we're gonna catch some fish, because I know that we can catch some decent fish, as I've previously told you behind the cameras. So, well, yeah, let's just hope that we're not gonna end up soaking wet, because as we know, tomorrow it's supposed to be raining, and concrete with rain together is not that good.
It's not as bad as mud.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's very slippy. But we have got some Polish beers to try as well. But tell me a bit more about the lake, because other than the sheer size of it and the fact there's a massive power station behind,
yeah, the power
plant.
I
don't know much about it.
It's basically because of the power plant that the reservoir is here, right? So in the past they used the water to cool the power plant. Now the system changed. They are using some gas. I don't know. I don't remember which type of gas. So they've basically very rarely use the water to cool the system nowadays, but still from time to time in winter there are some big dumps of water, warm water, which allows the lake, which prevents the lake from freezing, right?
So it's got good winter form as well then.
Yeah, that's why in the past we caught the biggest carp in Poland here, the biggest catfish here. So they still live and swim somewhere around our area, hopefully.
Lovely. Well, I'm looking forward to getting the rods out, although it's not going to be in a traditional sense of casting out. We're going to be using boats and rods, which is something I've never done before. So,
well, I'm happy to introduce you with this one.
It's the first for
it's going to be fun.
Right, well, let's get the kit into the swims slotted between other people.
Hey!
And get the rods out.
Yeah, let's go.
This still feels cringe-worthily weird.
So as you can see, we are looking for some fishing spots. It's not like I'm fishing for the first time over here. It's just that I got my controller from my RC boat back from the service, because I accidentally wet it on one of the sessions. I got it wet, and yeah, and I need to find again those potential carp feeding spots. The more silt over here, the more snags over here, the better obviously the spot is. So I know the area more or less where I should be looking for those spots, but yeah, I need to mark them on the controller again, just in case when it gets dark and we have to put it back into the water, we wouldn't have to struggle with finding it again, right? Because I have the GPS in my controller and in the boat as well, and I can mark the spot precisely. I know there might be some pros and cons of it. I mean, there might be people who like it and others that hate it, but this is how it is. It's also better for the fish to find a spot that you're not gonna put the rig ride directly over the snag, but just somewhere away from it. So yeah.
From what you were saying, with the fact that this place was sort of sunken town or village and all the forest was cut,
oh right,
you can come across, you can actually see all the stumps in that you were telling me, can't you?
Yeah. Before the power plant was built, there used to be a village, and over this area where we're fishing at, there used to be a forest, but they took the village away and cut off all the trees, and then they sunken the whole area. And now we have a quite big lake to fish on, right? So yeah, that's where the snags are coming from. So yeah, that's basically it.
Now, light's fading pretty quick and I don't want to get the rods out, so we'll go through the whole setup tomorrow because we are fishing at quite a distance, which isn't your standard deeper setup, but I'll let you crack on because I've been hampering you trying to get you to talk on camera and you just want to crack on.
Yeah, we have to hurry up. It is what it is. It's, I don't know, it's 6:30, so it's supposed to be completely dark in an hour, so let's hurry up.
Well, I've absolutely no idea of the time, but I've been reeling for what feels like about 5 minutes and I don't even know any idea of how close it is because we're fishing at like over 200 meters, but it's gone really far left. Big guidance, what do you want me to do? Because he's all the way down there somewhere. You see the angle he's at, look?
Going to
yeah.
keep on standing here.
I've never played a fish from 200 meters, so I've no idea if it's still 100 meters out. See, yours is beeping, he's that far left.
I see, so let's go.
Yeah, I see. I'm past the knot now, so he's really close. Hey, my first Polish carp.
Good job.
Sorry about your line.
No worries.
Sweet.
Congratulations.
Yeah, turn that off. No, nowhere near the monsters that we know that are in here. Why is this not turning off? But very welcome all the same. Oh.
Can you grab the camera from
Yeah.
here?
Well, not long after getting the rods out, had a bit of grub, then I went straight to sleep because I needed a bit of kip. After not sleeping for close to 2 days for this one, I just rattled off. The first one of the trip for me. I think it was 7 and a bit kilos, so you're looking around the mid to upper double. So it's by no means a monster, but it's my first ever Polish carp. So it's a Polish carp PB and very, very welcome.
Congratulations, mate.
Thank you very much. And sorry for wiping out your left rod.
No worries.
Sweet. We get a few snaps with the power station behind. Sticking back, get the rod back out. Hopefully get a few more. Back out it goes. It's bizarre fishing this sort of distance and pre-programmed spots and everything. So we did find some spots earlier on the deeper, as we were saying, as it was just getting dark. And Przemec got his rods out. He said that I had to wait until he was sorry because that's just the way it is here apparently. And then we found some, well I say we found some spots. I'm no good with a bait boat or using it all, and as he was set with the kit we looked around, so I'm not going to lie, found some spots as well out there, programmed them in, and unfortunately Przemec lost one just as it got dark, was it? Just after it got dark, we were watching the football, and it just went straight into one of those snags that we were talking about at the bottom, those tree stumps that are left. A few beeps and it was solid, wasn't it?
Mm.
So unfortunately that one came off, and then my one's gone off not long after. and unfortunately wiped his right rod out. Right rod out, so he's got to reposition his right one. This one's going out, and it was, what did you say, it was about 208 meters out there?
Yeah.
This one. So it's bizarre going out this far. It seems that you sat here for ages as this goes out, and just bringing the fish in. I had no idea of how far out it was as I was just bringing in, winding, bringing in, winding. It went down the bank to try and steer it away from the underground, underwater forest that's down there, all the stumps, and got it in. So it's only a small one for this lake, but first fish, probably just under £20 for how we weigh it back in the UK. What was it, 7 and a bit kilos? Yeah. 7.5 kilos. So hopefully we can get some bigger ones, because there is talks of 25 plus, is it? 30 plus?
Yes, yeah, even bigger.
So this incredible, this body of water and what could be swimming out there in front of us. It could be another one like that, or something. Oh, slowing down.
Yep.
Donk. And we dropped at 200 odd meters.
Just like that.
Fishing again. Sweet. But you gotta make sure the handles are level, of course. Otherwise you don't catch, even in Poland.
No, even in Poland.
Same thing here, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, the rods are too far apart, but I know it probably seems silly, but I'm used to light bobbins, underarm flicks. And I've got the heaviest bobbin possible, braid at 200 meters. I haven't got a clue what I'm doing, but I caught the first fish. Sweet. Well, I've had far more bites from the mozzies than we have from the fish, but it's been enjoyable. First session on here. We've already got, what, 2 bites, 1 landed.
Yep.
It's a good sign that the fish are sort of down this way, so you're a bit concerned that they may not be here.
Exactly.
But we've seen a few this morning as well, mainly towards the right actually. But to get one first night, it's not bad going.
Imagine fishing like 550 hectares,
yeah,
and then just having a bite. I don't know how
first
about
night. Yeah.
After how many hours?
Well, I know.
No pre-baiting.
No
pre-baiting.
And obviously a huge chunk of that credit goes to you for finding the spot and helping with the boat and everything. But I did tie the rig, and it was a dead simple KD rig with a 3-bait stringer. So you can't get any more simple than that. And we're using drop-off systems on here, so we're using lead clips. Just because if you hook anything and keep the lead on, you have even less chance of landing it because of all the
basically none chance of landing it.
Yeah. But this morning, I think, what's the plan? We're gonna sort of fine-tune spots a bit more, because it was a bit rushed last night, wasn't it?
Yeah, sure. Probably we're gonna maybe make some slight adjustments, and then I would still think about moving one of your right rods where the fish were showing up to earlier today.
So we can take
we gotta still wait for the guy to leave.
Yeah. But this morning we can have a little scan around with the boat, because he's fishing close in with a feeder.
Yeah,
so
we're gonna do that for sure.
We'll go a bit more in depth on the actual setup you're using to find spots and how we're fishing at these ranges, because like I said, yesterday we got in, it was kind of rods out quickly to try and get a bite, and it worked, but we need to fine tune and probably remove one of my rods rather than have them both. Well, because at the moment we've got pretty much all 4 fairly close together out there, haven't we?
On the same distance, yeah. That's not how I do it normally. I try to find different distances, and then just move to the first one, which is gonna work out the fish for me.
Nice. Sounds like a plan. Well, it was a beautiful sunrise, but I think it's lulling us into a false sense of security, because the forecast, there's no other word for it, it's looking pretty crap.
It's gonna rain, definitely.
Midday onwards for about 12 hours solid is meant to just be torrential rain. So hopefully all the rods will be in position by then, and we'll get some more fish. Morning, swans.
Morning. So, as we mentioned earlier, we're using a bait boat over here.
so many attempts, so many anglers tried not to use actually RC models over here, but it barely brought any results. So casting over here is good only for feeder fishing when you're catching breams or whatever else. But if you want to catch those big carps, you have to move away a little bit further. So as we said, we were fishing about 200 meters away. So there is no chance putting your rigs in such a long distance without an RC model. So, but model is one thing. The other one is a sonar. So to have a detailed scan of the bottom lake deeper is a very useful piece of equipment. Not only you can check what's in the place where you're putting your rig, but without actually scanning the water yourself, you can find, for example, in the app already those waters that someone else did the scanning for you. And this is how it works over here. So most of the lake is covered by scans of previous anglers, and this is very helpful because you don't have to actually look and scan the whole area. You can just find the spot in your app and then just go directly to that spot and confirm whether it is a good spot or not. And this is how we did it yesterday, but in a little bit of a rush. But today we're gonna maybe make some slight adjustments and find hopefully some better spots with bigger fish. So as you can see, we have an arm that is attached to the back of the boat. On that arm you have a floater that prevents the deeper from going under the water when the boat's starting to go. And also you have a tripod on which you put the actual extender that extends the range of the deeper itself. Deeper says that it's working up to 200 meters. Now I've tested it here on this water and it actually works even further, but 200 meters is a solid one.
Oh, lethal, tack sharp. Just how we like it. So I've just touched up the hook points, and I will do on the other one as well. Although I didn't have another fish since that one last night, just on the wind in, I think it caught on the bottom side and just ever so slightly burred the hook point. Not enough to have to redo it. Not that there's many components, it's hook link material and a hook. But I just wanted to make sure they're nice and sharp and perfect for being dropped out by the boat in a bit, and that one now is. So I thought I'd talk you through the actual setup I'm using, the one I had that fish on last night. I'm fishing extremely basic, no changes from how I'd fish back home, despite the fact this place is much bigger. The only thing is things are a little bit more beefed up. Although having said that, I'm still using a size 4 curve shank, I think this is, and that's pretty much what I use back home anyway. But I am using 25-pound break and strain Camotex, I believe it is. This isn't my tackle box, I've just been tying up stuff. Yeah, the Camotex semi-stiff, 25 pounds, not stripping anything back, just it's got enough rigidity to it, but still enough flex that is enough to move around nicely once it's out there. And all it is a knotless knot, but I've tied one whipping round the hair to trap it in place, then the rest below. So it's basically a KD, and that hook angle is just super, super aggressive. Holding it like that, it almost looks like a drop shot sort of rig. It's a really, really aggressive angle, and that fish I had last night was absolutely nailed in the bottom of the middle of the bottom lip. And that's exactly how I have been hooking fish with this dead simple setup. Now it is a bit more prone to tangling because it's supple and things, but because we're using the boat, that's pretty much completely negated. But there is also another little thing I'm doing to make sure that nothing can happen on the drop. I just added another hook bait. This is tangerine squid. Absolutely stinks. It's a really odd, bizarre smell of that. Obviously you got the fishiness of the squid, but the nice tanginess, which is why it's called tangerine squid, I suppose. Self-explanatory. who's calling me now. I bet that's my wife. She always seems to manage to call me when I'm doing a piece to camera. Wife, can I call you back when I finish this piece to camera where I just said I bet that's my wife calling me because she always calls me when I'm doing a piece to camera?
1 eternity later.
Can I have a 2-minute rant? Not right now, love. As I was saying, adding on this hook bait, which is actually 24mm. I don't think I've ever used a hook bait or a single hook bait this big. Quite tough as well because from what 𝘃𝗵𝗶𝗀𝗲, why do I keep saying 𝘃𝗵𝗶𝗀𝗲?
I don't know.
Przemec. Przemec.
It's like you have a...
It's not like I've got him stood behind the camera listening to me pronounce his name completely wrong again, even though I've got it right so many times. For some reason I just said 𝘃𝗵𝗶𝗀𝗲. I might call you 𝘃𝗵𝗶𝗀𝗲 from now on. But anyway, as I was saying, I think there's some nuisance fishing here. You got some of the bream in that, which a lot of the feeder anglers go for. There was someone next door to me this morning fishing for them. He's now headed on. But there's also grass carp, I believe you're saying as well. So tougher baits on there. Just pull that on. Oh, there we go. It looks so basic, but it absolutely nailed that fish last night. And I've got it so that the hair drops with only a, I don't know, centimetre below the bottom of the shank of the hook. So there's loads of movement in that hook bait. You can swing around all over the place. But as I was saying, that could be quite tangle prone. So I'll just get the 3 bait stringer. So what I do is I get 3 hook baits straight out of the bag. I was using ones that 𝘃𝗵𝗶𝗀𝗲𝗃 had glugged yesterday, but it's an absolute nightmare trying to do it. It's so messy. So we've got some dry ones today. Slide that down the hook link with the hook going between the 3 boilies, and then that traps it in place. So as you can see, my hook bait is at the bottom of those 3 bait stringers. The hook is between 2 boilies, so it can't go anywhere, it can't tangle, that hair can't spin, and it also just gives you an extra level of attraction around your hook bait. So that will land, the PVA tape will dissolve, and you're left with 3 freebies and your own as a nice mouthful. So it's a bit like a solid bag setup of a mouthful of food, but not using a solid bag, if that makes sense. So really, really simple like that. And that is the rig that got me the fish last night. Now, I'm not going to say that's how you need to fish this place. It's just that's how I approached it because I wanted to keep things simple, less to go wrong. And then moving down to the other end of the setup, using a lead clip setup. So we're dropping the leads because, like I said, at the bottom of the lake out there, there's a lot of snags. So we're dropping the leads. And then a leadless leader to hug the bottom ever so slightly towards the end of the rig section, but really heavy duty hardware. And so if that's buffeting up against those logs and all the different snags that are down there, shouldn't tear, and it gives you the best possible opportunity to land that. That then goes to a really heavy duty shock leader, which I think is probably like 25 pound breaking strain, really stiff, strong mono. That goes down, obviously then goes on to a braided main line. So there's next to 0 stretch. Other than that little bit of mono there, you've got no stretch. So fishing at those distances, you're still getting really, really accurate, a really sensitive indication, so you know when you've got a bite. And then to anchor you in place out there, we're having a tight line with braid. We've got these big old chunky gripper leads. I think it's about an 8 ounce, 8 to 10 ounce, something like that. So that's hugging the bottom, and they come off on the take, of course. I do think that some of the anglers on here use rocks and pebbles. They put big elastic bands around them so that they can come off, and it's less faff having to wind your rods in at the end of the session as well from those sort of distances. But that's the setup we're using. I've tied up a few of these 3 bait stringers ready to go because the weather is meant to turn this afternoon, and I don't fancy fiddling around with PVA when it starts lashing down with rain. So let's get the other one sharpened up and sorted, and then we'll put them out with the boat very, very shortly. Sweet, there's my right rod. I'm going to stick that one out there. I found a spot. I feel more confident now that I've actually done a bit of work myself, having never used a bait boat before, but that was satisfying. Such a clear, so it's going along about 3.1, 3.2 metres. I was just going towards the far side where we saw some fish showing earlier, and it just shelved up to, was it 2.5, 2.6? Yeah. So there's a really obvious shelf there. So I've just come just off the ridge onto the lower bit. So I'm going to be in the slightly deeper water. But if that's a patrol route or they're coming along that little shelf line, and it is the distance we saw them earlier, isn't it?
Wait until you're going to catch from that rod.
That'll be very satisfying. Yeah, so I'm coming back now, and it's 2.8.
Perfect.
2.9.
Yeah, and we were forced to wait until the guy leaves, right? The feeder angler.
Yeah, he was. So there was a guy fishing to the right earlier, and which is fair enough. He's well entitled to it, but there were so many fish showing down there. Now that it's free, and it looks like it's going to be free because no one's going to choose to come out in this weather, I don't think. That feels good. Sweet, both spots sorted. Keep the left one on the one that did the bite last night, put the right one on the one I've just found. And then have this coffee, which you put some, what's it called?
𝘃𝗶𝗱𝗲,
which is
Stork.
basically like a Polish Baileys. Tastes a bit more butterscotchy. Very nice.
Like a pro.
I like it when the coffee has a bit more of a throaty kick to it.
It's getting colder, right? Winter is coming. So you gotta warm up, warm up.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. 178 meters.
Nice.
There we go. Let's drop in. Donk. 180 meters, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, I could cast that, but not a
If you're
chance.
Terry
now.
Edmonds,
Even with my new rods on
if you're
here,
Terry Edmonds, and then you don't have this all that fence behind you. Bro,
that just lunged like mad.
bro,
No jokes, this rod went out. 2 minutes ago, the boat's not even back.
wait. Did it drop the?
It's nodding.
It's not in?
It's nodding away. So this rig's been in the water 2 minutes. The
Okay, so
boat's
it
not
was
even
you who
back.
stopped the boat, huh?
The boat's not even back. Oh, that ripped off.
How long was it? A minute?
2 minute, 2 minutes. Should I go higher?
Try to go up, just be careful.
Sorry.
Try to go up, just be careful. Don't go on the grass, don't go, you're gonna slip. Just stay on the...
The grass, if anything, I got more grip on the grass.
Oh really? So do whatever you think it's necessary, but the higher the better. Yeah, that's how we do it.
Oh, I melted off. I thought the boat had caught it.
That's what I thought.
I was convinced the boat had got it.
If it's not, if it did drop the lead.
Oh, this feels heavier than last night's.
2 minutes.
2 minutes at 200 meters. I'd say it took longer for the boat to get out there than it did for it to go off. Well, clearly, because the boat's not back.
Yeah, I'm gonna show that the boat is still on the water.
God, this is really pulling hard, even that distance. You gotta remember, I'm also not used to playing any fish on braid. So if I was fishing this distance at home, the stretching the line, I wouldn't think there's a fish on, but. I'm putting so much into this. What are these? £3. I've got such a buzz and adrenaline rush. I've never fished a place this big. And when that just peels off like that, and it feels good.
Come on.
When was the last time my hand was doing that when I was fishing? The line's right by the boat.
Should I? Oh, so let me take care of the boat, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so we got the boat here, and Joe is almost
Just proper rucking now in the margin.
ready for landing.
Can't remember the last time I had a bite that quick, let alone on a 1400 acre. You've seen it, I haven't. You said it's not very big, but it feels bigger than the first one.
Now I'm not sure.
Yes.
Sweet. Just keep him out of the step. Yeah, nicely done.
Not as big as it felt, but what a result. Oh.
Come on. Okay, I'm gonna take care of the.
Yeah,
I'm gonna put on the boots. Okay.
He's trying to go on. Well, I didn't pack my wellies when getting on the plane, so Przemec gets all the welly duties. Well, look at this extremely angry little common, probably similar sort of size to the first one. It felt a lot bigger at first, Really gave a good scrap, even all that distance. But mega, look at the size of that dorsal, holding out all his fins, he's curling his tail, he's proper angry. But very, very welcome. Of course it is. And that couldn't have been out, I think, we could probably time it. It was minutes it'd been out, and it absolutely melted off at over about 200 meters. So hopefully that's a good sign of things to come. The weather's completely changed. Hopefully there's more fish out there. Put a bit more bait out. It could be a sign of things to come, but if not, very well happy with him. Such a cool looking fish. Mint, get a few shots and stick him back.
I'm so proud of you, Joe. You're so Polish now with that bait boat.
You said I'm very Polish, this is me smiling.
Yeah, smiles in Polish.
Polish smile.
Perfect. You brought your weather with you, right?
Yeah, sorry about it.
Thanks.
Doesn't feel like there's anything on there.
Do you have your mic?
Nothing on.
Nothing on.
Don't think so. Just feels like I'm bringing in the lead. Was it a bream? Something just came up to the surface.
Oh.
Have I got a bream?
Yes.
And the lead's not come off.
Yes, you did. What a beautiful one. I call it small scale carp.
We've lost the lead on this.
Small scale carp.
Yeah, that's not going to give me a fight like a ground. Look, the boilie is bigger than its head.
Yeah, it is what it is, mate. It looks lovely. Come on, say something.
What do you want me to say?
Are you happy with your first Polish small scale carp?
Oh, I slipped it back without a photo. I didn't realise that was what it was. See, back home, they're called beep, 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 beep.
Same in Poland, I guess.
I don't know about you, but it's nice to be out of the bivvy for a bit. It's been pretty grotty for hours on end.
True.
And this may only be a little window of dry, but I thought it'd be nice to sit out and recap the day, which has been a little bit of a grueler, really, hasn't it?
Yeah, a lot of things happen, right?
Yeah, so we had a bit of issues with bait boats and getting things to sink, and it's because of the power plant. I know it's that as well, because you've had issues here before in this area, and also my drone has not been too happy when it gets to just in front of us. It's dipped, it's gone up, it's gone right. Something's playing havoc with my drone as well, so something's interfering, and we're pretty sure it's to do with the power plant, aren't we?
Yeah, as you can see now, both of the chimneys are working, so the power plant is fully operational now. And this 99%, I'm 99% sure that this has something to do with the interruptions of bait boats, of sonars, of drones. Even sometimes the cellular connection isn't that good.
Yeah, well, we saw someone else's bait boat not long ago come out to a spot, and it sat there for longer than we think it should have, so it probably lost connection, eventually got it back. So yeah, that's been a bit of a frustration. And also, I did have another run, a couple of hours ago now, which we think was a grass carp. And then I had another run about 10 minutes before we did this piece, and unfortunately that was about a 4-pound bream.
Small scale carp.
Yeah, so that wasn't ideal, dragging that in from 200 meters. So hopefully that doesn't happen again, because resetting the rods isn't the fastest.
Yeah,
it's fairly pain-free because you just hit go and it goes out. But
we also have to be aware of the battery of the boat. So because we have 4 rods to all the time to bring back to the fishing spot. So yeah, it's 2 times more than normal.
Yeah, so it's bizarre because back home it's not as much used, or it's not as heavily depended on for fishing. But if you lost power to your boat, that's basically someone taking your reels away, because you can't fish where you need to anymore.
Well, basically, but so you have the screen where you see the percentage. So.
Sweet. Well, we've also made a slight change with bait. because we think the bream and the grass carps may have been drawn to the corn and the hemp and things, so just gone boilie approach now.
I don't know what would happen if you would change the rig. Maybe you would catch a grass carp if you would shorten the hair or change it, for example, into a slip D. But as well, you could also catch more of those awful breams.
Well, I'd rather not. The fact is, it couldn't even fit that 24mm hook bait into its mouth. So I think what it must have done had been picking up the small bits around and just managed to suck a size 4 hook into its mouth.
Yeah, I saw so many videos from underwater that those fish are really a pain in the ass, and they can keep on hitting the hook itself. Like, I don't know, maybe being curious about the shiny thing, but I don't know. They're so stupid.
Well, hopefully they leave me alone. Hopefully the rain leaves us alone. I don't think it's going to. I'm pretty sure it's going to rain again, but for now,
we
let's
both
just hope it
saw
stays away.
the weather forecast, and either on your and mine app, it says the same.
Yes. So
We
at
better be
least
ready.
shelters are up and positioned in good spots. Rods are all fishing. Fingers crossed something else happens going into the evening.
Let's
No,
go.
I understand there's a beer here. Thank you. Na zdrowie.
Zdrowie.
Well, this one just interrupted us having a nice little social in the evening, and much bigger than the first couple, and weighing in at European weights of 13.5 kilos. So converting that, I just did it on Google, and it's ounces shy of £30, which is what we'd say is kind of the next benchmark in UK weights. But I don't care what the weight is. So much fun catching these fish at this sort of distance. It's so new to me that it's really, really enjoyable regardless of the size. But I'll take that. Ounces shy of £30. That is your backdrop. This insane body of water next to me really is incredible. And what you're doing, you're lurking. Or do you want to get in it?
Are you ready for the ribnick base? Are you ready for the ribnick base? Are you ready for the ribnick base?
Very nice.
He's nice. Congrats.
Thank you very much. All right, should we get some snaps and stick it back?
Yep.
You need to have one. I'm not just saying that, like you're like Luke, your head's gone.
What?
Oh, finally. These are the last hours of our session here on Lake Rybnik. And after a few lost fishes in the snaggy area, a solid run, and it seems that I might be landing this one, although it's hard to tell how big it is. Did I just jinx it? Please, please, no! I want to hide under my... Yeah, it's gone.
Right, we're just about to bring the rods in, go have another little break from the lake to freshen up at home. When I say freshen up, I mean deposit the sausages we've been devouring for the last 2 days on the bank. And that means bringing these in from a big old distance. As you can see, it's quite a lot of effort, and I'm trying to reel it in as quick as possible so that I don't get caught on the bottom on any of those snags, which has been plaguing Przemec next door. It's been really unfortunate losing a few fish. And the side of the swim I'm on, where I fish, I'm kind of more on the edge of the tree line, or the stumps that are out there, which is why I think I've been fairly lucky to not get stuck in them. And I want to try and keep it that way, but we could leave them out for a bit because we've got a friend come here to watch the stuff while we just nip back to his house. But I want to freshen up the rigs, make sure everything's good, fresh bait out there, and put all the odds in my favour for hopefully one more bite before we head on. I've got to go tonight. I think we're going to go from the lake about 11 p.m. Oh, just hit something there. And go to the airport from pretty much from here. So probably going to smell on the plane, but hopefully it'll be worth it with a nice big Polish carp to end the session. Hopefully one for Przemec. Oh my days, this is hard work. There we go. Okay, so we're back and time to get my rods back out. I'm going to do the left one first, which is the spot that Przemec found on the first day, and which has done actually most of the bites. I'm still holding out on that right one. I'm going to put that back out on the spot that I found, just so I can feel like I've done everything from start to finish, from finding the spot to presenting the rig and everything. But at the moment, the left one is the one that's done the bites. So I'm just going to put the rig back in, still using the same rig setup that I showed you before. Put that in there. Sweet. And just going all out boilie approach. I think they're all 18s and 24s. Some of these baits are just ginormous. All boilie now, don't want to run the risk of getting any bream. Well, minimise the risk of having bream. So it's going to be all boilie. Just a mouthful. So that is fully loaded up. This is going to be the last time it goes out unless I have something, of course. So I'm really hopeful that this will be enough to entice a bite. So it's 10 to 2. And this is what one of the locals that's been here every day actually. He's not fished constantly, but he comes up in the evening for a few hours. And he's been saying a lot of his bites recently have been from about 2 o'clock onwards. And as it's 10 to 2, hopefully we're not far off. And I had that bite yesterday afternoon, probably about 1ish actually, so a little bit before. So there's every chance of a bite this afternoon in daylight. It'd be quite nice to get another one. Really would like to get one of the slightly bigger ones, although last night's fish was lovely. I'm very, very happy with that. Just a few ounces shy of 30 pound. Really like to at least go over the 30 mark. Maybe get up to 40 pound. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Another 95 meters to go. Rod to the side. 3, 2, 1. Donk. Dropped. And we're fishing. Look, there was no chance in hell that was ever going to go in his mouth. Oh, that's painful, isn't it, when you do all that and a bream.
Okay, so I'm playing another fish. After losing the previous one, right after me finishing that, probably I'm gonna land it. I'm not gonna say anything until we see the fish in the landing net, okay? We've got, I want to say, what time is it? But my watch is dead.
25 to 5.
25 till 5, so we got a couple hours only left. And I can see that we're playing a nice common. Hello! Finally!
Finally, I get to lift something. Look at this beautiful common. We still have a couple hours left before Joe is gonna have to leave for the airport back to England. And this little fella, it's not the biggest fish in the lake. We know that there are some decent big ones. But this one is also a proof that I think all what we did to find them in that sunken forest was the correct way. If it wouldn't be for the RC model together with the deeper extender, we probably wouldn't catch as many as we did. But yeah, what else should I say? A fish on your cradle is a proof that everything you did was did the proper way. Thank you for your visit, Joe.
Thank you. Still a few hours left. Still time for another one.
Sure.
Just led on the bed chair, trying to get a bit of shut eye before we go into the evening, because I can't imagine when I'm next going to be able to sleep with a flight at 6 a.m. I don't think I'm going to sleep until I'm home midday on Friday, so I think I've worked out I've had 8 hours sleep since Sunday, so really am flagging. But anyway, just led there on the bed chair. We're thinking about ordering some food, and the left-hand rod once again has just belted off. And I think I'm about halfway there. At one point I thought it'd come off, it swam straight towards me, but it is still on there, plodding around every now and then. But that's the biggest part of the battle is just the distance, because it's not fighting much out there at the moment. It might fight a bit more in the margin, but at this point it's just winding for ages. There we go, the odd little nod to let me know he's still on. Oh, there he's coming towards me again. There we go. Bizarre how quick he's coming towards me at times. That feels like it's come off. Yeah, could be. That's right in the margin if it is still on. Not quite what Rybnik's famous for then. Still time for a bigger one, but they all count. All very, very welcome. Oh, I think I was half asleep when that went off as well. Well, not quite the monsters that do lurk in these waters, but very welcome when they peel off. You never know what's going to be on the end. It could be an absolute monster or a little scamp like this, but they're all welcome when you're on a venue that you've never been to before. And hopefully I get that rod back out on the spot. It's just starting to lose light levels. We might get a few more going into the evening before I got to shoot on. A few hours left, always a chance of another bite. But for the time being, this one's made me very happy. Lovely.
Just right before we were supposed to start eating, because we got our food delivered. As you see, another bite. I don't know if we have maybe 3 more hours left, but it seems like the fish are starting to cooperate. Yep. Yeah. I told you that it's gonna start just right before we're gonna have to leave. It took us a little pre-baiting before they started to feed actively. It is what it is. It's going all the way to the left, to the worst place that it can go. Gotcha. Just right before dinner, this little fella came in to say hi. But I want to eat, so I'm gonna say a quick bye. Thank you for coming, and call your grandpa. Tell him that we are still here for 3 more hours. Okay?
After slipping that fish back, we really did just about have time to have some grub before packing down, getting back to Przemec, packing the car up and heading to the airport at just gone 3 a.m. Starting to lose track of time, but it's 4:30 here, 3:30 back home. Przemec, it's been a blast. Thank you very much for having me.
I already miss you.
And you're going straight back to the lake, aren't you, to fish in a match for what?
Never. I need some sleep.
But you are doing a match on there for how many days?
10 days.
10 days.
But it's I'm starting next Thursday. Yeah.
Right, well, all the best, like I said. Big thanks for having me.
Have a safe flight.
Thank you very much. Safe journey back. Just drop me off. The journey continues for me. I'll be home by lunchtime tomorrow. Well, fast forward about a month and we come to the end of the edit before I realised I never really did an official outro, at least not with this camera. I put the phone away, put my camera stuff away, got on the plane, got home, drove home, and I think I crashed for a good day or so because I really need to catch up on sleep. Completely forgot to do a proper outro on this. So in hindsight, looking back on it, extremely enjoyable trip. Having finished the edit, I've got to relive it all whilst putting it back together and just realised just how mega that trip was. I may have had next to no sleep the whole time, but I didn't really feel it that much then because it was so hectic, and seeing such an amazing place and the prospect of some of the fish that we could have caught out there just kept us going. And unfortunately, we didn't get amongst any of the real big ones in there, but a fish at just shy of 30 pounds, I really can't complain in a country I've never been to before, let alone fished. Really, really enjoyable trip. So yeah, once again, a massive thank you to Przemec for hosting me out there and showing me around. And he's the reason I caught some fish out there as well. And a big shout out to 𝘃𝗶𝗱𝗲 as well for making this whole shoot possible, me going over there, filming with him, using the 𝘃𝗶𝗱𝗲 to good effect. And I wouldn't know where to start fishing a place like that without the use of the technology that we had. So the bait boats and the 𝘃𝗶𝗱𝗲 to help us find spots and then be able to accurately position the rods back on those spots each time, knowing that you're fishing effectively and as safely as possible. Of course, Przemec struggled a bit with the sunken forest out there a little bit, but that's just because it's such a vast, dense forest that's on the bottom there. You're going to lose fish. It's just comes with the nature of fishing a place like that. I was just on the edge of the worst of the forest, so I was quite lucky, and all the ones I hooked, I did land. Did get plagued with bream as well, of course, which bit of a stressful situation when you get a bream after doing all that hard work getting your rods out of those distances. It takes a bit of time. I know it's fairly not physically intensive because you're using a bait bow, but it takes a lot of time to set it all up, and then you reel in a 2-pound bream from 200 meters. It does take its toll, but it was just shows you're presented still, even at those sort of distances. So absolutely mega trip. Like I said, big thank you to Przemec and 𝘃𝗶𝗱𝗲 for putting that on. And if you want to know more information about the 𝘃𝗶𝗱𝗲, of course, go over to their website, check them out. Also follow Przemec on his Instagram. He's fishing there all the time. You may not be able to understand his stories much because it's all in Polish, but you'll still be able to enjoy the beautiful views from that lake and other lakes he fishes and some of the amazing fish he's caught. Do have a look on his Instagram because that can show you just the sort of fish we were going for on the Lake Rybnik. And going back to the very start of the video when I was trying to pronounce the name of the lake, it's 𝘃𝗶𝗱𝗲𝗲 Rybnicki, I think. Don't hold me to it. But that's it for now. So please do like the video if you did, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any future uploads like this coming out from us. Also follow us on all the different social media platforms, or whichever ones you choose, so you don't miss any regular updates from us on those channels as well. That's it for me for now. I need to now stick this clip into the end of this video to actually finalise this video and export it. I'll see you again soon.